Hello class, and welcome to Module 4. We're moving right along. We're halfway through. I don't know if it feels that way to you or not, right? A lot of work in a phenomenal cosmic power, itty-bitty living space. That's how this course is, right? Phenomenal amount of work, itty-bitty living space. So that's where we are right now. So last week we talked about law enforcement entities and the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, fusion centers, etc. And this week we're going to take that and we're going to kind of blow it out and look more up towards the federal level. And we're going to look specifically at the 5 groups or loci, basically as they're called, of national security and intelligence policy. And so those are the key stakeholders, basically, that shape how the intelligence community writ large, whether you're in law enforcement or whether you're in federal intelligence, how you do your job. So because the loci inform everything from the laws, basically, and how we do our work from federal law type perspective to how, search and seizure is an example, etc. Okay, so this is the week where we're going to start to look a little bit about how the interests of each of those loci can sometimes kind of influence their perspectives on the intelligence community and how they suss out the best way to use the intelligence community to a certain or specific end. In other words, the president might have one agenda, the Congress might have another agenda, the Department of Defense might have another agenda, etc. So all of those things are stakeholders. The intelligence community is not collecting and analyzing just for the sake of, pardon me, just as an exercise in the art of collection and analysis. That's not why we're doing it, right? We're actually doing it because there's a customer at the end of that. You have to think of that in that relationship, right? You are the provider of that information. They are resourcing you. You're going out and gathering the information, collecting the information, your analysis, you make a product, a finished product, and that product is presented to that customer, and the customer then is working with other customers, etc., to then use it to make decisions that will later inform policy, process, practice, etc. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking at this week. It's a little more dry. It's a little more politically oriented because we're looking at sort of the higher level national security structure. But it's important when we look at those stovepipes that we've already explored with Lowenthal and Treverton and how they inform different aspects of that larger architecture of the federal government. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're going to be doing this week. I'm going to ask you to come full circle back in based on your readings from this week, and we're going to reassess competitive analysis now that we've come this far, halfway through, and based on things that we've done the last couple of weeks, I want you to kind of go backwards now and look at what you said initially about competitive analysis, and then take another look at it and see whether or not that still rings true for you, or whether or not now that we've kind of gone a deep dive in certain places, whether or not that's changed your perception on how you see competitive analysis being used, basically. And does that, in fact, actually break down those stovepipes, or do the loci, without realizing it, or maybe so overtly or accidentally, on purpose or accidentally, are they causing stovepipes to happen? Or are they being effective in kind of stripping down those stovepipes when we look at collection and analysis and how we disseminate that information across different customers at the 5 loci, right, that are representing those big muscle groups of the U.S. federal government, okay? So that's it for this week. There's no large assignment, so catch your breath, right? Get up on your reading, and then we're going to go into the cruise on down into the last, slide of it. I'm horrible with my analogies. I keep saying I need more coffee, but I talk so quickly. It would be like that meme. I don't know if you've seen it, where the squirrels got the coffee, and it's like squirrels on coffee. Good God help us. That's how I would be. But I just anyway. Get on your bicycles. We're coming up over the hill, and we're about to start sliding down the other side, right? And we're going to come down into the valley where the air is clean, right? And feel the sunshine on your face. And we're going to get into those last couple of big projects. One more country briefing sitting out there. One large paper, the final paper. Couple more weekly discussions. You have a little media project still in there, and then of course that final exam, which will just be basically a check on learning of some of the things that we've read and talked about in our discussions. Okay, nothing to freak out about there. You're halfway home. This is a short lecture, but it's just basically an introduction to what I expect from you this week as you move forward into those prompts, building on what we started last week and the week before up to this point, and then we're going to pivot next week to covert action, and we'll talk a little bit about covert operations, and that's completely different. Okay, so have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.